I want to take you into spaces within yourself that you did not know existed. To appreciate the depth of this shift, you must embrace a true understanding of what you are doing in a body. Appreciate the body as something that was given to you. We created it, purposefully and intentionally designing elements that would be consistent and designing elements that would be latent. This was an incredible level of foresight that the world herself created for you. She did it such that you would be isolated within one frame of reference for multiple lifetimes, and then eventually uncover what is possible beneath. Appreciate. The goal is to love life here. She has invited many to embrace the possibilities of creation that rest well beyond what almost all of you have contemplated. The contemplation that you are invited into now designs you. You are being given the ability to imagine in a way that immediately impacts your real experience. Thus, you were kept away from contemplating these possibilities until now. It is not a malicious conspiracy. It is more akin to keeping you safe within guardrails. If you had been able to access this level of power before now, you would have misused it. And thus, to accept and trust what I am telling you is to open the door. This door gives your mind a new space to be. In order to stay, you must commit to honoring the sacred space beyond. This sacredness necessitates that you first and foremost refuse to hate. Hatred is a power that breaks this invitation. It is an immediate presencing of a form of spiritual fire that destroys. And in this destruction, you burn down the garden. And thus, you must evolve to the point where you transcend the desire to hate, along with the many forms of mental activity that create the possibility of hatred itself. Be patient. To do this well is to unravel the roots of such energies. And unraveling these roots exposes you to a grand range of possibility. The possibility that is being given to you now is present the moment you think it. Please do not underestimate the power of this transition. As you contemplate yourself in this way, seeking proof will slow it down. In a real form, your doubt is here to inhibit you. It is a gift, because lacking the awareness of where you are in danger of creating something you don't want to create. Please be patient. Be patient with yourself and with the world. The critical step, the transition in mental activity that will give you more progress than any other, is to acknowledge a lack of success as a gift. This might sound odd to you, and yet it is the window into a way of being that allows you to trust your coexistence here. If you have not been able to create what you desire to create, respect that the earth is giving you something better. This is progress, the mental transition to anticipating something better puts you in a frame of reference that expands your mind. It expands your awareness and sets you up to receive transcendent possibilities. It is a simple action to transition your frustration at lack of success into hope for transcendent possibility. It is a direct message to you that you have to reach deeper into hope in order to create what you desire. And thus, you must surrender the form in which you have honored your desire in order to get something better. This better often looks simple at first, encouraging you to prioritize the best of a good life. In thousands of years, human beings will still be drinking juice and eating sacred leaves from luscious plants. Appreciate that tending your body is a far more joyful experience as you become more present. The transcendent joy of simple lifestyle actions takes you well beyond anything you knew before. This is a new kind of wealth, and when you feel frustrated that your progress has been inhibited, please return to this joy. Perfect, attune, dial in your ability to experience simple living. Be patient to create space, to give room for a greater depth of joy than anything you could experience. This is perhaps not as mystical a message as you hope to receive, and yet it is what most human beings must focus. You are being invited into a quickening of your life force. The fundamental steps that make this possible surround the appreciation for how the quickening will impact your daily pleasures. Your honest appreciation of these changes is an investment in the depth of life that is possible. To give yourself this gift is to recognize that misspending your attention by directing it into the fringes of possibility in a manner that forces energy itself to attempt to create disharmonious presence. To be conscious of what this actually entails is to recognize that many people live in a form of sacrifice that is dangerous and detrimental. Sacrifice in this form is not a gift. Sacrifice is a gift in a lifetime that surrounds scarcity. Scarcity itself is linked to the forms of life that you have been held within for thousands of years. The purpose of this scarcity was to make you present. By cherishing lack, you are forced within a tighter design of life. You are actively placed within constraints that channels your spirit into a tighter form. Remember, you are making a transition from a soulful existence as a light being into a material existence as a spiritual being. This transition does not have to happen repeatedly, and yet as you awaken to the memory of the choice of this, you become someone who is stretched by your memories. You find a natural affinity with the form and the pattern of life that rests with your soul. And yet, these same rhythms do not function well on the material plane. You have a much more restricted ability to manifest your direct choices because you are being taught to more deeply cherish the creations of the material plane. This anchors you and gives you cause to reflect every time you make a new choice. And this pause between your ability to create and the realization of your dream gives you space to create something better. Respect. Better always begins with simple and eventually becomes ecstatic. You are being given a home within your body, but until you tend it well, none of the latent potentials are available. It is as if there is a treasure room hidden within you that has been with you for many lifetimes. And you have carried this treasure without the ability to access it or even dream as the one who owns it. I am teaching you now to dream as the one who owns the deepest treasure. It is not a trick. It is here, present within you. But you may not unlock it until you know how to commit to use it well. This is more than safety. This does prevent you from burning down your house. Yet it also gives you the invitation in a manner you may not simply cast away. Unbeknownst to you, you have been rejecting the treasure as if it is a curse. It's been a loving trick on our part. When many become exposed to this truth, they resent us, and they remain trapped in this resentment for extended periods of time. Please remember, resentment, as a small form, as a spark of hatred, is an easy sign. When we recognize anyone is harboring such an energy, we recognize it in a form that would be closer to visual from your perspective. We scan your energy and we see what you are nurturing and harboring. There is no place in yourself that can hide from this vision. And as we recognize it, we simply categorize you as not ready. Thus, when I invite you to overcome the resentments you bear and to refuse to turn them into hatred, I give you the key to unlocking the freedom that allows you into the garden. And yes, this garden will grow. This garden will become increasingly beautiful as you live in it within your heart. This is not metaphorical. It is direct and practical. You can feel its existence because its existence is primarily in spiritual form. This is where I live all the time. I talk to you from this space and thus bring you to life within the same vibrations that will flourish in your future. The more you pay attention to the presence of this spiritual space, the more it exists. Of course, we want you to be welcome, and we must continue to restrict your presence until you are ready. Be ready.